fa puramoroshke fi pa loromoho ho halishke fi paramarana. I don't know if I'm live or not. Let us try and figure that out, huh? Heshkiri firi palamana. I think I am. Someone text me. Are you live on U2B? I'm Jim Dedelow, host of Jed in the Region, AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM, the voice and face of the Calumet region. For some reason, though, I cannot switch cameras, and that's bugging me, so I think I'll just have to readjust them. Sorry about that. Anye, Huzishkiri fiba para hamala, ha, poroshkifi pedinye, hiripi fapa, ho, lorabara horo moskofi, haraparaham. All right, let's see, source. Let's just do this again. Do you mind? Right, we're set back up there again. Camera one. Let's go back to screen. All right, and reset that one, and then we'll reset camera two, and then I think we should be all right. All right, I think we are on YouTube, and is that right? Somebody text me, one of you guys that are watching on YouTube. I won't give you my cell phone number, but I will say that you're a good person if you do.
This guy sitting next to me. Have you ever had the feeling, now this is something I'm sure that women are not quite cognizant of, nor do they quite experience, but there's always a guy in the next barber chair to you, Ed, who you vaguely suspect is either a two-bit rotten racehorse gambler, a rotten two-bit tout, or he is perhaps a Presbyterian minister in disguise, and who is about to be... Yeah, the very strange thing about barbershops. Yes, there's an enigmatic...
All right, what's going on? I had to get all things all set up. So I guess none of you guys are going to text me if I'm on YouTube. So I got to look myself. Are you kidding me? What is wrong with you? It takes a little bit of preparation to try to get up there and get everything right. Let's see, Jim Dedelow live. There it is. All right. Thank you for the, 30 people or so. Gosh, man, the subscribers keeps going up. I don't know what's wrong with you people. Hey, let's take a look here at 219-845-1100. You can call in if something's on your mind. But first, let's take a look at traffic. And it is pretty benign today. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good. Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan, Skyway, Toll Road, Borman, I-65, they're all moving along pretty well. And in terms of the weather, it is really not bad out these days. It's February. It doesn't make any sense, but it's 44 degrees already here at the Strachan Van Til Studios on the campus of Purdue Northwest. It goes up to a high of 58, maybe a little cloudy and maybe even cooler than yesterday, but I think I'm reading this correctly. Breezy and warmer with clouds yielding to sun and high of 69 tomorrow. I mean, what do you do with that in February? How are you going to feel when it's April and it's 20 degrees out, huh? Woo. Warm, partly sunny in the morning on Thursday, and then a high of 61, and then it just drops off pretty good over the weekend. And then, of course, it heats up a little bit again next week into the 40s. So just unseasonably warm. And let's see, some of you guys did text me that were on YouTube, and I appreciate that. Some of you that have my personal cell phone. I am so happy to introduce the person that's going to sit with me here today, but we got to talk first about some of the best people in the Calumet region, one of the best traditions there is, and you know what I'm talking about. And why is that not playing live on the air? Oh, yeah, here it is.
Subject to the jurisdiction
So easy.
are citizens. Okay, that was for us because we were
smile lights it up.
three-fifths of a person.
Apologizes.
Okay, according to in the original Constitution.
And welcomes
Okay.
unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people
Have a great day.
is a smile.
Thank you.
Stratton Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
For over 100 years, Roofers Local 26 has been keeping Northwest Indiana dry and safe. Since 1919, our highly trained members have built a reputation for skills, safety, and reliability. With a 4-year apprenticeship and certifications in OSHA safety, first aid, and CPR, we deliver quality you can trust. When you need roofing done right, choose Roofers Local 26, protecting what matters most for over a century. For more information, visit www.roofers26.com.
So look, I looked up to see who was running, and
I'll get it right yet. I might have to wait till Adriana gets here to figure out how to do this, but it is what it is. Oh, there it is. All right, I got it ready. Verley Suggs, how are you?
Am I on the mic?
You will be in a second. How's that sound?
Well, I was just beginning to think I was on the wrong show, so I was about to pack up my bag and leave. So, I don't think so.
Hey,
Wrong co-host. Definitely not the right co-host for me.
hey, you know, the world always just surprises you. You know what I mean? I can't. Ooh, sorry about that. I just can't put it together.
That's all right.
And make
Cut me
sense
off
of
at
it.
the head. It's fine.
You know, there you go. How you been, man?
I've been great.
You know, I'm a little running behind because, I don't know, I write this Substack once in a while, and I just didn't feel like doing it the last week. And so I got up, and this morning I was kind of writing on it. So,
What was your inspiration this time?
you know, the inspiration, I have to wait for it, and then it comes. And today it was just like, I'm trying to figure out what we do and why it matters. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, I could feel it, but I can't explain it. And the closest thing I could come to was something I learned when I was in college, and it was, I lived at this place, and it was called Barrington Hall, and there was a symbol for it, and it said, those who tell don't know, and those who don't tell know. And that's kind of how I feel about, like, what we do, and the people that come together with us, they kind of get it, you know?
So those who tell don't know, and actually those who know don't tell.
That was the saying, yes. And it didn't make any sense to me at the beginning. And when I lived there, it was like this cooperative. My buddies that came and visited me called it a commune, but it was a cooperative. And I don't want to go into that. I never, ever talk about that. I'll write a book one day about it.
Well, isn't a commune a cooperative?
Same idea.
It is the same thing.
All I needed was a cheap place to live, man. I didn't have any money, and I had been living, quite frankly, I had been living a whole semester and a half homeless, like just sleeping. My buddy rented a room on the unused portion of a sorority, and they had a woman that came around and basically did bed check every night. So I had to sleep under his bed when he could sneak me in the side door, and then most of the time he could, but sometimes he couldn't. So I wound up becoming friends with this woman in the library, and she would let me sleep there. But anyways.
So I think a lot of college students go through that homeless stage. I remember Mike always shared this story when he was at IU. His brother and sister were both at IU at the same time. They were older. And this one summer, he and his best friend and his brother, they decided they were going to pool all their money together, and they were going to buy a camper, a mobile home, and they were going to live in this mobile home. Well, Mike saved his money. His best friend, Howard, saved their money, and they gave their money to Mike's brother, Clint. And Clint left and joined the Navy. And so they came to school, and they were homeless until they were actually able to get into, a place.
Now, I met Clint.
Well, you met Schaefer.
I met Schaefer.
Right. Clint was And I bring up Clint today because Clint was a naval hero, and he was actually memorialized in a number of different things. He was actually in a Tom Clancy novel where his actual name was used. He was taken from a hijacked TWA aircraft and held by Hezbollah in the Middle East after a flight from Athens. So it's a world famous hijacking that took place where in fact, his best friend was actually killed and thrown onto the tarmac from the aircraft. TWA and Delta Force. They used it in a Chuck Norris film.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I've seen that
Yeah, you've
movie.
seen the film. Yeah. They actually did a story about the flight attendant, the person on that flight who actually saved the lives of many as she tried to hide the passport of the Israelis, and the military didn't carry passports back in that time. But also today, the family of Reverend Jesse Jackson announced he passed away.
Oh, really?
Yes. And so actually Jesse Jackson was one of the people who actually went to try and, secure the hostages' release, as he did a number of times, trying to get involved as a non-diplomatic diplomat. So Michael, had reached out to Jesse Jackson. They went to New York together, and it was a whole big story. If you Google Clint Suggs, the story comes up. And
wow, what year was that?
This was I think it was in the
80s? Yeah.
The later 80s. So, yeah.
I met your brother-in-law, Schaefer.
Right. Schaefer was
he played for
the Jets in New York.
The Jets.
Right.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
He played
man.
with Joe Namath, is one of his best friends.
I watched a movie last night.
What'd you watch?
I don't know the name of it, but it was a COVID movie. And the guys that
COVID movie. So what's a COVID movie?
It was happened during COVID. And I can't even begin to talk about the movie. All I know is Jordana Brewster was in it. She was the woman in it. And Jordana Brewster was my uncle Dwayne Dedelow, who recently died. He married Connie Brewster. So that was Connie's niece. So she's been to Indiana and, some of the family stuff before, a long time ago. But so we sit down and one of the guys says, what? I have good judgments. Why do you persecute me? Why do you question my judgment all the time? He goes, well, hey, you're a Jets fan. And it was like, there must be some meaning in that it's kind of like being a Mets fan, right? You never quite win.
No, that's not even true, Jim.
Well,
my
whatever.
mother is the biggest Mets fan there is, and my sister was actually the Mets' first ball girl. So Mets fans, they were at the World Series when the Mets actually won. And believe me, if you tell my mother that being a Mets fan was a bad thing, she would have something to say about it.
Put it this way, the Yankees kind of rule the winning portion of New York.
But those Mets fans, we grew up walking distance from Shea Stadium, so...
Mets and the Jets. So to come back to this, and I would like to do basically a segment here, and that is that, you sometimes wonder, I've been doing this for over 40 years, off and on, right? I first came in here and I was doing a show here in 1984, the afternoon show. And the listeners hated it that there was a 22-year-old guy sitting in there, and I was just like, hey, I don't care. And then I kind of wonder, well, what are we trying to accomplish? You're never going to make a ton of money in radio. You're not going to make any money. You're just doing it as a mission, as a project, and you're lucky to get out and, and at the end, you can cash out or something like that. But there's something about it, and I cannot explain. You get up and you you pass on $1,000 flights to Japan to come here and do the show with me.
That is so true.
and I've passed on a number of job opportunities and I'm like, no, I kind of like what I'm doing. And, my wife makes enough money and, I don't really need much. My car's 23 years old and I wouldn't even have a car if Billy Baker didn't make me. I'd ride my bike every day.
Aww.
And I mean, it's a mission and I just wonder what the mission is. That was, you asked what my inspiration was.
Yeah, no. Everyone has an inspiration for what they do in life, and some people have multiple inspirations. And now you even have 2 additional inspirations, and that is your granddaughter and your grandson. So life is a continuation of continuous inspirations.
And I think part of it is that you and I grew up, and we're peers, and we grew up at a time where I think it's everybody's like, oh man, I feel bad for the youth of today because AI is taking over and there's no social interaction because of social media. And I get that, but I think one of the main differences, at least what I took out of growing up and seeing people when I was a little kid and seeing the hippies driving around and seeing the civil rights strife and all of that, is that you have to hold to a principle and you have to hold to mission. And I kind of believe that, and I believed it then, and I kind of believe it now. I kind of feel like maybe the modern world is more based on greed and more based on power instead of based on mission and serving. And it's kind of it's one of the big fissures in the Catholic Church. What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to be service and roll over like all the Jesuits and, kind of look bad, look against the unfettered greed? And, but I think it's swung over here where, we have idolized. I mean, think how many billionaires and tech bros that are making money and it's all, and look how we look up to them. And then we have people who serve the poor.
Some people look up to them.
I think as a society.
I don't look up to them.
You don't. You don't, and I don't.
I'm more about serving the poor. And Mike and I were talking about this the other night, about how we're so perfect for each other because of how we live our lives. We both are on the same, plane when it comes to giving back and taking care of people who are less fortunate, and not even so much people who are less fortunate, but people in general. Just being there when someone reaches out and needs you, you just have to be there.
I could not, so what I'm saying is that you and I, and there's a lot of people listening that are probably of the same ilk, they may really dislike your politics, but they kind of understand where the mission is of living and serving and helping others. And I've had people tell me that, God, I really can't stand listening to her, and I wish you would get her off of there times, but I don't know, something brings me back, and I don't know what it is. And it's the same thing, people listening to me singing stupid stuff in the morning or eating on the air. I mean, that's just part of the game, but I don't know. I feel as if that's the part of what is going on right now that is lost. And I don't know if it's just the pendulum swing of the division and the lust for power and greed, and it has kind of swung over here to the right, and then maybe it'll come back and get over here too far to the left, and then all of a sudden we'll have to bust it up again. But if you just want to live your life serving others and not being ostentatious about your wealth or striving for wealth and just trying to adhere to certain principles, it's kind of hard.
My husband would say I'm a little ostentatious, though.
What's that?
He would say I might be a little ostentatious. So.
Yes, you are.
So
I won't even say.
You
haven't invited us into your house. But
you are. My house is. You are welcome to my house any time.
Purdue's playing IU on Friday. Yeah. I can't make Friday because we got basketball, but one of these days he's got to invite me over for a Purdue IU game. Tonight, people, just to preview it, Michigan, number one Michigan, is coming into West Lafayette, and we got it right here on WJOB. Many of you longtime advertisers, man, you're getting, it's extra, and we appreciate you guys sponsoring. Also, we have high school sectionals. I think we're going to be at girls. We had some really good girls basketball games over sectionals and regionals. I think we're going into the semi-states. And then on Monday, we'll be out at the sportsmanship dinner. I am going to MC it. And we are not going to stream it live this year. We're just going to, I'm sending out a few cameras, and we're going to grab a bunch of video, and we are going to do posts throughout the year to remind everybody that what sportsmanship is all about. I can't believe I'm involved in anything that takes me away from hanging out with those two grandkids every night kind of irritates me. But for some reason, I go to this because there's a message there about what high school sports is all about, and it is brought about by the Sportsmanship Committee. I don't know, Gary Bell's going to get back to me. Pete Corellis was going to come, and now he can't, so I might have a couple extra seats. Anybody wants to come and sit at our table or something, get a hold of me. Verley Suggs is here. We got plenty to get to. It is the mission for 122 years that we have been the voice and face of the region, and continue to be, and will continue to be.
Tech Credit Union supports the essential role of union labor in building strong communities. That's why we offer hassle-free banking, financial empowerment, and a commitment to your success. Save for the future, handle life's challenges, and trust a partner that stands by hardworking union members. Tech Credit Union, the better option for you and your money. Visit techcu.org or call 800-276-8324. Tech Credit Union, supporting union families every step of the way.
Introducing Powers Health, a health system with a new name and a strong legacy of caring for families in our community. One with a tradition of advanced specialized services and a vision for the future. One with a commitment to medical excellence and compassionate care. Everything we do, everything we believe, powers health.
Life's biggest challenges don't come with a warning. When legal issues arise, whether it's a car accident, personal injury, criminal charge, or representing you before municipal boards, you need a trusted advocate on your side. At Westland & Bennett, we listen first because your story matters. We provide strategic, personalized legal solutions to protect your rights, your freedom, and your future. Peace of mind starts with a conversation. Call 219-440-7550 today for a free consultation.
AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM, the voice and face of the region. You can watch us on YouTube. Just go to WJOB 1230. You know, every once in a while, I'll talk about that in a second. Anyways, 294 around the city looks pretty good. 294 has an accident all of a sudden. It's the left lane is blocked right around where the I-55 Stevenson comes over 294 there. I don't know exactly where that is. It's Indian Head Park, Willow Springs, Bridgeview. If you know that area and you're going to O'Hare, sorry. All of a sudden you got and that left lane blocks, and it just happened, and it's starting to back things up for about 3 miles right now. So going to O'Hare on 294 is your worst thing right now. 80 going east and west looks good. Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan, Skyway Toll Road, Borman, I-65. They're all moving along pretty well. In terms of the weather, it's been kind of weird, man. It's just yesterday was unbelievable. Today, right now, this morning, it's 44 degrees, 12, 15 degrees above normal right now. And it goes all the way up to high of 58. Mostly cloudy, though, maybe a little bit of spate of sunshine, but no real rain or anything like that. Not that windy. The winds are out of the south-southeast right now at 10 miles an hour. Breezy and warmer with clouds yielding to some sun, and a high of 69. Tomorrow, a high of 60, or Thursday, warm, partly sunny in the morning and mostly cloudy. Don't forget tonight. Unbelievable game. If you're a true Purdue fan, or a true Michigan fan for that matter, I guess, you can sync up the WJOB feed with the Michigan at Purdue game. I want to remind people that starts at 4:30 pregame, and a 5:30 tip-off. And the high school games, we have a bunch of them tonight. They're not going to be on because we have that. We have the Purdue game. I will mention this, that the Heartland Sports Network is, I don't know, they're doing, maybe 50 games this week of different sorts. Or, Sam Michael has quite the menu of games, and you can just please download the JED TV app. It will shortly turn into the Heartland Sports Network app, but evidently it takes a couple of months at least for Amazon, Apple, Google, all that stuff to switch it over. And once it does, it'll just become the Heartland Sports Network app. But you go there and you can watch all of these games. We have been putting them on the radio. We didn't used to do that because it was an extra step, but Joe Cimino does that from his home, and he's able to put the games on. But not tonight because it'll be Michigan at Purdue, and I'll go through the rest of the schedule for the week. But we will be around the state doing semi-states in girls basketball action on Saturday. I'm not exactly sure where that is, but I'll look on the schedule. Hey, let's take some phone calls. Verly?
Of course.
You want to do it? All right, let's take one here. Hey, you're on the air. Ron, how are you, buddy?
Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
Ron.
morning. How are you? Burley. First of all, let me give my condolence to Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson, a great humanitarian. So I was going to be talking about him today. We have a show going in Gary about Black history, but we could not mention Richard Hatcher and not talk about Jesse Jackson. So my condolence to him. Probably be attending the funeral. I was very close to them. I've been in their home, and he was a great humanitarian. But I'm gonna leave it at that. But my condolence to him, and I'll do the rest on the next show today.
Well, Richard Gordon Hatcher actually was his campaign manager when he ran for president.
In 1988, absolutely.
Yes.
And Richard Hatcher has a son who's a congressman there. His name is Jonathan Jackson. I think his first son was Jesse Jr., and he was in Congress. So, like I said, I will be getting in touch with them, and I'm sure myself and Lamar Taylor will be going to that funeral over in Chicago. Probably be a number of people going, but certainly we will be a part of that inner circle. Okay?
What does that mean to you? Hey, Ron, what does that mean to you? That Jesse Jackson died?
Well, like I say, he lived a long time. And what it means to me, Jesse Jackson, I think maybe Burley mentioned it earlier. He was good in bringing people home from what was that war and
he helped with different
Burley.
Hostage crisis. I believe was he involved in the one with when Carter was the president? Some of the hostages.
And it means a lot to me right now because with Jesse Jackson and Martin Luther King, them talking about a better America. It means a lot to me. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, with that, but I'm going to let some of the rest of the people call, and hopefully, we will certainly not leave out Jesse Jackson, giving the condolences and my prayers are for his family. And so with that, you all have a great day.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. 219-845-1100. I'm surprised. He's pretty somber about that.
Well, he actually, Ron traveled a lot with Mayor Richard Gordon Hatcher during his tenure as mayor in the city of Gary. And then, when he was on the worldwide stage traveling all over the country. And so Jesse Jackson and Richard Gordon Hatcher were very close friends. I mean, the kids probably called each other uncle. That's how close they were. And Jesse Jackson had a huge impact on this country and on the world. I remember having him on the flights when he actually was campaigning for president and traveling. I think it was California where he had gone.
I interviewed him. And I think I'm going to be able to find that tape. Probably not. I mean, I'm going through old tapes right now. Larry Kyleman gave me a bunch of Preacher's old tapes. And it's just amazing having an interview that Preacher did with Gail Sayers. And I'm like, wow, this is just,
Brian's song.
Yeah, yeah. And but I interviewed Jesse Jackson. Weren't they doing something? They did something at I don't know, it was at the Steel Yard in Gary or something like that. And he came in for some sort of rally or something. And
he was in Gary a lot. He was there for Mayor Richard Gordon Hatcher's funeral. I interviewed him on LTH. He was a great guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's out of Chicago. He would do stuff.
He was there when Dr. King was assassinated.
Hey, you're on the air. How are you?
How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing okay, David. What's going on?
What's the over-under on Trump's disparaging comments when it comes to Jesse Jackson now that he's dead?
Ooh. I got to believe Trump's going to treat that one with some respect. What do you guys think? No? No?
No, I don't think so. Knowing Trump, I don't think so.
Do you think
I
that?
do not think so.
David, do you feel as if Trump's kind of losing his grip on his power base?
Oh, one can hope,
All right, yeah, I get
hope.
I get what you're trying to say there. So what?
Yeah, there's kind of like another thought when it kind of comes to telling and knowing. Sometimes you'd like to think that if you are telling someone something, you do know something. And also, kind of your thought as to why you kind of do this whole thing. Well, how about this little thing called We the People and the Constitution and entertaining the people?
Does that matter anymore? Does that matter anymore? Honestly, do people really care that you officiate lively discussion and try to synthesize ideas and entertain people? Or do people want something else right now?
Well, hey, this is just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So you can take my opinion with a grain of salt.
No, I mean, I guess what...
Oh, a lot shaped of salt.
I guess, all right. Hey, man, thanks for the phone call. You got me thinking, all right? Thanks. Talk to you. Further, you asked about the inspiration. And for the longest time, I have truly enjoyed the entertainment that's going on. It has given us plenty to talk about, probably affected our ratings even, and that, it has kept me interested in the amount of change and the amount of discord that is going on in America. And I honestly thought after the thing that happened when I gave the commencement address and Chancellor Keon, followed me up, and that was a international story, and I thought it had gone too far on the parsing of language and the lack of forgiveness for people for making mistakes. And I'm like, man, we got to even this out a little bit. And then it has kind of swung the other way, and very entertaining if you're just watching the game. And now I wonder, and I'm looking at this right now, President Trump's approval rating hit a second-term low, as it's down around 36%.
He's also lost the base of young individuals who had supported him.
Well, I think that is a natural thing. It's kind of the natural time of coming into a presidency. You're going to lose the next year and the midterms and all that. But I think it's deeper than that. I just feel like people are kind of tiring of the pace of things. They want some stability, and people are craving stability at this time. And at the same time, it just continues to zip along with just kind of weird things that we're doing in the world and at home. And, I told you that in the beginning, I thought that Washington needed to be just completely taken out of its protective shell so that we could answer more to the people. And it has gone too far. It's gone too far in both ways.
Well,
both sides.
Actually, where did it open up to answering to the people? Because most of the people that Doge took away lost their job were the people. Those were the everyday people that were able to enjoy some of the middle class lifestyle because they had a good, decent job working And those were the people who were actually put out on the streets when they came through. So they didn't cut anyone off at the top and, bring transparency. They got rid of average, everyday people who now, when they say, hey, what happened? I was doged. That's the term they use. They doged me. So nothing that Elon Musk did and his, geek squad did anything to make it better in Washington, D.C. It just put a lot of people out of work.
So at the core of what I thought that Trump understood and was able to capitalize on is that, the average American, and like 80% or 90% of us are kind of just like working day to day and trying to get along, and we're not getting ahead, and we're worse off than the previous generation, and that angst was starting to build up, and it was real, and that there was kind of an anti-elitism, and he was able to. That's what populism is all about. Is like the elites are screwing things up and they're just hoarding things, and we're gonna take back government. But what has happened, especially with this Epstein thing, it kind of shows that it's actually gotten worse. President Trump's is kind of got in there and just he and his family have made $4 billion.
I mean, who is more elite than them? Who is more elite than the Trumps?
And I think that's what you're feeling in the approval ratings, right. And in the people are like, come on, man, this isn't what we were all about. We were like, we're just average Americans going out to milk a cow or to go to the mill, and you're just like suing your own government for $10 billion.
Exactly.
And
so you're suing the Internal Revenue Service because someone leaked your tax documents that actually we waited a whole 4 years to see your tax documents the first time you ran. And all you used the entire time was an excuse that you were being audited. And people they have given Donald Trump a pass on everything he has done since he came down the escalator at Trump Tower in New York City. And they continue to give him a pass.
That's not true. I'm telling you that I was sitting here in 2015, 2016 saying, I think Trump's going to win, even though he was way behind in polls and all of that. I go, there's a lot of people that are silently just angry.
That's not true, because like I said, they gave him a pass on everything he's done, and they elected him twice.
I think you're right, but I don't think that right now. I think that's shifting. All
right, let's see how many of your MAGA people who call this morning say that they have a change of heart.
That's not going to happen, and you
exactly.
know that. That's not an accurate representation. I think that the Gallup poll here at 36% is more accurate, and that I'm just telling you what I see.
And I'm just talking about people who are so deep inside Trump, so deep up Trump, that they cannot see the reality of Trumpism.
No, so we're down. What I think has happened is we're down to the people that that's like that Trump said in the beginning, I could go shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. There's people that are very much into a man and some sort of mysterious populism than really kind of just evaluating it independently. And those are the people that it's down to now. Exactly. And I think that there's maybe 10% of people that have kind of said, "Hey, man, I can't take this any longer."
But they will still continue to wear their "Make America Great" hat, their Trump hat. I mean, when Barack Obama ran for president, I think I went to a rally. I bought an Obama hat. I probably have an Obama hat. Have I ever worn the Obama hat out in public? No. Would I ever fly an Obama flag in front of my house? I mean, I got an IU flag flying there. There's no way that's going to be replaced by a president. How do people fly the U.S. flag and fly a Trump flag? How do you do that? How is Trump your definition of America? How is that? How does that make you patriotic to fly a Trump flag?
Well, I think that's the part that that's the part that we have to some extent disagreed on, and that I understand where people believe in Trump, believe in what he's doing, and equate him with the American flag. It's real. And that is, I mean, as much as you may not think that it is right, it's real. And it's born out of what I think was like this anti-elitism. And now today I see this.
So a billionaire is your idol, because this is what they've made him, an idol of anti-elitism.
So you are applying logic.
A golden toilet is in his home, but that's not your definition of elitism.
I'm not saying. You see, there's the difference. You're applying a moral judgment to it. I'm just saying I see what's happening. Okay, here's one today. Thomas Pritzker, a billionaire heir to the Hyatt fortune, stepped down as chairman of Hyatt, becoming the latest person felled by an association with the disgraced financier.
Yes, and he did that on his own.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes, because he's in numerous emails, probably pictures, the whole works. And rather than taint the brand of his family business, he knew the best thing, just like the prince over there in Great Britain, that I need to step down. Well, the family made him step down as well.
But you...
And you know what they say over in Great Britain? At least we have enough sense to know what's right. Over there in the U.S., they're still in denial when it comes to President Trump.
So that is the part that I think is partly causing a shift right now. No, I mean, we're here, you and I, we talk to a lot of people, we're on the air, we follow the news. I mean, we're pretty qualified to see what's going on in the middle of the country, especially since we have to prep to talk about it and think about it and that kind of thing. So, you know, I mean, it's just, you know, what are the trends? And when I went to college, it was all about, you know, let's posit the trends that are happening in America. And what I'm saying is in 2016, I'm like, hey, man, you know, it's going towards Trump and this populism. And what I'm saying is it's kind of breaking down right now. And one of the major things is this Epstein thing. I mean, you start to listen to all of these women who have been trafficked and raped and just kind of abused in their most vulnerable times by really rich men, and it was like this secret society of you can do whatever you want. And now we look and like nobody's being held accountable by the law system. Now a bunch of people are losing big jobs over this, and Pritzker's just the latest one, but none of it's gone to the courts or even really kind of had a moral judgment in America. And I think that it's Brent Brazier sat in your chair, and he goes, hey, man.
Now,
why?
he might say I'm sitting in his chair, but hey.
I'm like, well, you know, why do you think it, you know, that, you know, why are they redacting all this stuff and, you know, not just coming out with it? I mean, it's all going to come out. Why don't they just bring it out? He goes, I'll tell you why. Because if they bring it out all right now, it might cause a breakdown in society. And I'm like, man, I never thought of that. And if it's that deep, what would happen? Think about it.
I think that society is used to powerful men taking advantage of their power. So things like, I remember back when the Mayflower Madam came out with her little book, you know, with all the people that were in it. This Epstein file, to me, is no different. I would say that there would be no surprises of who's in it because the president bragged about the things he was able to do because of his power.
He's just one of them.
He's just one of them.
Mentioned.
Yeah. So I just think that the Epstein file is just that. It's a file of things that have been happening that people have known about that have happened and have kept quiet about, and people just say, hey, it's typical. It's typical.
No, I disagree.
Yeah.
I understand. You and I have been together for, I don't know, well, a lot of years. And I understand that as a woman going in to become a flight attendant at a certain time, what the arena was like, especially for, I mean, I try to look at it, especially for a black woman coming in. There's white men that automatically think there is that you can, especially you as being very attractive. I can't even imagine what you've gone through.
I've never been through it, though, Jim. That's the whole point. I have not been groped by anybody. I have not been solicited. I haven't. So I just haven't. And so I really don't have that experience.
Do you understand it, though?
I understand it. I just don't have that experience.
Well, I mean, part of it is how you carry yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I see you walk into a room, I'm like, there would be, you better be or put it this way, when you were single, you better be damn sure of yourself if you're going to go up and hit on that, because she doesn't take any BS, right? And you carry yourself that way, and that may be part of the game here. But there's a lot of women that were caught before they were able to develop that confidence, before they were able to develop that gait.
Yeah, I mean, it was the thing, coffee, tea, or me, that whole thing. They made movies about the flight attendant, and it was back then stewardess lifestyle. So, everyone has different experiences. I'll put it that way. Everyone has different experiences in life, and that's what makes this world so great, is everyone's experience is different.
All right, so let's do some sort of a prediction. Here we are in late February of 2026. What is going to happen surrounding this Epstein situation, or nothing?
Nothing.
Okay, explain.
Well, just like any other hearing we've had, just like the impeachments that have taken place, nothing is going to happen. I don't believe anything's going to happen as a result of it. We've seen numerous pictures of President Trump before he was President Trump with Epstein. We've seen instances where he's lied about his relationship with Epstein. So I don't think anything's going to happen. If anything happens, it's going to happen as a result of Donald Trump probably losing the House and the Senate in midterm elections.
And then what happens?
Losing more support.
That's a prediction. So,
Yeah,
so what would happen?
He's either going to, as Ron Matlack likes to believe, he's going to resign because he doesn't have the support to get things done. He's going to become like a lame duck president that's just going to sit in the office or spend most of his time in Florida. The world is going to become a better place if Donald Trump loses the House and the Senate.
Okay, that's a separate question. I'm asking the question of what is the ultimate effect of the Epstein sexual trafficking and how deep it goes on America?
I think it'll be just like any other scandal. It'll be just like the Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky. It'll just be a blip in history. I don't think it's going to be this big turn the world upside down thing. People are going to lose positions, lose jobs, but it's not going to make that big of a deal. It just won't, because you know what? There's the next Epstein out there doing the same thing somewhere else in the world right now. You go over to places in the Middle East where it's the norm for men to go over and young girls be sexually trafficked. Sexual trafficking has happened far longer than Epstein has been alive, and it continues to happen all over the world right now. We're focused on Epstein, but human trafficking is happening everywhere. People have sex slaves in their homes. They have undocumented workers serving them in their homes as slaves with them holding their passports or whatever documentation they actually do have. So human trafficking hasn't gone anywhere. It continues. Sadly, it continues all over the world. And little girls being used for sexual deviations from men is happening right now in places all over the world.
Well, on that bit of sunshine, let's take a short break. We'll take your phone calls right after this on the voice and face of the Calumet region.
Do you like to work with your hands, creating something from nothing? Then think about Laborers Local 41. You'll get 432 hours of apprenticeship training, all while earning a wage with benefits and incurring no student debt. You'll travel to different job sites, learn tons of skills, and in a lot of cases, be the first one on and last one off a job site. It all starts at laborers41.com.
Are you sausage curious?
Who's ready for Polish?
Big Frank Sausage has the very best Polish food in the region.
You had a mouthful of Big Frank sausage?
We have a full bar, dine-in, carry-out, delivery, and catering available.
I've had a mouthful of Big Frank sausage.
I've got a mouthful of Big Frank sausage.
219-378-9556. Smacznego i na zdrowie.
Who's ready for Polish?
IBEW Local 697 electrical contractors bring the highest standard of electrical work to Lake County homes, schools, and businesses. From everyday fixes to once-in-a-lifetime builds, we don't just get the job done, we get it done right and up to the highest safety standards. When you need electrical work, hire the professionals who power Indiana. Powering Indiana, Lake County, bringing excellence to the job, creating a brighter future for our community.
And welcome back to Jed in the Region. It is Tuesday morning because I'm here, folks. And, of course, we'll take your phone calls at 219-845-1100. This is WJOB, AM 1230, 104.7 FM. Just wanted to share, this morning Michael sent this text message to Congressman Jonathan Jackson. He said, Congressman Jackson, I pray God's strength and comfort to you and your family. Your father will always be my hero. He said, when my brother Clinton Suggs was taken hostage on TWA Flight 847 and was taken off in Athens, which was taken off in Athens in 1985, my family and I were hopeless and the U.S. government wasn't sharing. He said, I called a radio personality at the old WBMX radio station and asked if they could reach your father. Reverend Jesse Jackson called me that day. We met a couple of days later at the United Nations building in New York City, and he was with me until my brother's release a few weeks later. So his brother was held hostages for weeks. He says, I thank God, Almighty God, for Reverend Jesse Jackson, my amazing hero. So, yes, we lost Reverend Jesse Jackson, just a reminder to those. He was a great hero.
You know what? I'm in on that. And that's really a kind of a heartfelt thing that Mike sent there and that you shared. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good. Bishop Ford, the 294 was a problem. They cleared that in a hurry because it's Illinois and they pay triple the taxes. But when there's an accident, or they need to plow the roads or fix the roads, they just have better roads and better maintenance partly because there's more money. And you see the difference every day when we're doing the traffic. Bishop Ford up the gut of the Southland Bishop Ford's pretty good, and the Dan Ryan's a little bit lighter than normal. I'm not exactly sure why. It's a Tuesday after a 3-day weekend. It should be really bad, but it's not. Skyway, Toll Road, Borman, I-65, they're all moving along pretty well. Once again, Purdue hosts Michigan tonight. That'll be a 4:30 start on the pregame and a 5:30 tip-off. And you can get it right here on AM 1230, WJOB 1047, or you can also pick it up on the TuneIn app. It will not be, of course, on YouTube. Let's take a couple phone calls and see how people are. 219-845-1100. Brent, how are you, man?
Good morning, Jim. How you doing?
I keep quoting you. you surprised.
I was
very
pretty impressed with that.
well. I'm always kind of
Burley,
open.
it's definitely your chair, not mine.
Aw, thank you, Brent.
Burley, it's your chair, not mine.
Aw, thank
You're
you.
over there.
Very rarely, Brent. I'm like a lawyer who's like just seen everything. I very rarely get surprised by anything. And when you said that on the air here, that perhaps if they released all of the Epstein files, maybe society might break down. I'm like, God, you know what? There might be just a little bit of truth, and it's been wearing on me, and I've been thinking about it, and I can feel some genuineness in that comment. Your thoughts?
Well, and this is I tend to disagree with Burley on this because I don't think this just kind of fades away like the Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky thing. This is one thing you didn't mention. The top lawyer at Goldman had to resign yesterday. So what we're seeing is people like Pritzker, this lawyer who was a woman that was the general counsel or lead counsel at Goldman Sachs. She resigned. She was in a bunch of his emails. The only real place where there hasn't been repercussions is in the Trump administration. Howard Lutnick lied that I didn't have any contact with him. I thought he was discussing. Oh, yeah, except for that time I went to the island, and and we got in business together. Right? This stuff is not going to go away in my mind.
So, Brent, here's the thing. Just like each person who resigns because they were the top person or a person who was involved, someone else will step in and take their place. That's why I don't believe it's going to be a societal breakdown, because there's always someone else who's going to step in and take the place of the person who has to resign in shame. And then that person will pop up somewhere else.
But I am far from a conspiracy theorist. And one of the things that has been shocking to me as this stuff has come out is just how far-reaching his web of contacts and people who, even after he had been convicted of, whatever watered-down charge Pam Bondi let him slide on in the state of Florida when she was Attorney General, that all of these people still, it was like no big deal. I mean, Leon Black, the guy that pioneered hedge funds at Apollo, paid, one of the brightest financial minds who employs the smartest guys in finance. He had to pay Jeffrey Epstein $150 million for tax advice. Nobody's buying that.
Of course.
And I think that I was not a fan of Thomas Massey and his kind of wacky libertarian leanings, but him and the Democratic Congressman Khanna from California, the way they worked together you got to remember when the House finally voted on this, there was only one nut job from Texas that opposed releasing the files. Only one guy. When is the last time that the House of Representatives in the United States voted 434 to 1 on anything? On anything. They can't even get that kind of margin to name a post office.
So why do you think there's a holdback? I mean, all this stuff's going to come out. Your comment to me on the air here was, well, just think about it. If they released everything and it's way better, way worse than we ever thought, and you use these words, you go, there could be a breakdown in society. And I'm like, holy moly. You know what? You're right. And there is that remote.
I just don't agree.
How far does it go?
I don't. I don't think it'll be a breakdown in society.
Somebody will step in and run these companies or whatever. But you're talking about a massive amount of people that need to be publicly shamed. That for some reason, the Trump administration refuses to release their names
because of their involvement. Of course, because of their
right.
But I mean, the biggest name that hurt me was Bill Gates. Bill Gates does so much wonder so many wonderful things around the world.
Did you see his wife
I'm
on the pie?
very
his ex-wife?
disappointed that his name is there. But, I mean, it doesn't
he
mean
does great
Microsoft
things,
is going to
but
fail.
It
I
turns
don't
out
know.
he's a dirtbag.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's where I'm saying, like, okay, Bill Gates did great stuff. He fought malaria and Africa. He's still a slime ball, and everybody needs to know it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
we
we
know
know
that
it,
about
but,
all of
you know, it doesn't take away that they're Gates scholars who have a better life because of Bill Gates.
Do you
people
forgive the
who
other
are-
stuff because of that?
I don't forgive any of it. But I'm just saying that despite all of this and despite him being that person, there are people who have benefited because of him. So that's why I just don't see the breakdown because of this. That's all.
I differ.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't think that any amount of good or money that you have that you spend doing good offsets the fact that you're a piece of garbage. Bill Gates is a piece of garbage. I mean, like, he's a really smart guy, did some great stuff, but you're finding out all these people are the absolute worst, despicable kind of people. And I think that we need to know it. And I think if they just unredacted all this stuff, which this whole thing is a sham, right? They redacted all these names of people who are emailing about torture videos and I want to party with the young girls, but they somehow missed a bunch of the victims' names, the one thing they were supposed to redact. I mean, it's a clown show. And I think that it needs to all come out. I mean, I don't like everyone who was associated with that guy and sent him an email going, hey, look at Elon Musk. He's like, oh, I never knew Epstein. Well, there's all these emails where he's begging to go to the island for the wild parties. Like, you can't. Like, we shouldn't let that guy anywhere near anything in our government.
But they already did, and he's already been, and he's already done. So that's the whole point I'm saying is that despite all that,
from going forward,
people know who is in that file. Epstein is dead because someone took him out, because I can't believe that man with that ego took his own life.
Hey, Brent. Brent. I have one other question.
I agree with you on that now.
Yeah, I have one other question on you. Who would it hurt more if everything came out, Republicans or Democrats? I'm not so sure.
I think they're both in it.
I think they're both in it, man.
I think they're equally culpable.
Yep.
I agree, and I think this transcends. We talked about this last week, Jim. You and I can have a debate on immigration or tariff policy, and we can take opposite sides, but there is no right side. Like, you're only on the wrong side of this, no matter what the party is. It transcends party. I don't care if it's a Democrat, a Republican, a communist, an alien. We need to out them all. And that's, to me, someone give me a counter argument to that.
All right. Hey, let's leave it right there because.
Thanks so much.
Wait, no, hold on.
What?
Libertarians, Democrats, Republicans, we all eat punchkis today, right?
No, I'm actually drinking Diet Coke because I give it up for Lent, so this will be my last Diet Coke until Easter Sunday.
Talk to us. What's going on at Doc's today and through Lent?
So this is our 5th annual Today is Fat Tuesday for those of you that are into carnival. So this is our 5th annual Fat Tuesday celebration. So we got a special menu, all my favorite dishes that I eat when I go to New Orleans. We got po' boys, we got red beans and rice. I'm doing my gumbo. We're doing crawfish Monica, which if you've ever been to Jazz Fest, crawfish Monica is like a staple that you eat at Jazz Fest. It's a crawfish cream sauce, tossed with rotini pops. It's fantastic. Got a bunch of New Orleans inspired cocktails, Ramos Gin Fizz, and Hurricanes, and things like that. We got beads, and I'm gonna have good New Orleans music playing all day.
Oh wow!
I'd love for everybody to come out and see it.
Okay.
All right, hey Doc,
so you gonna have some Zydeco music going on?
Oh yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
All right. Wow.
Doc says where?
1420 Calumet Avenue in Dyer, Indiana.
All right, man. I think I'm going
Fat Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm going to see you later. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. 219.
Come see me.
I'll see you. Talk to you. He'll be there at Dyer, and if he's there, that means I might be sitting at the bar a little bit early afternoon. Let's take some more phone calls. 219-845-1100. And while this call is going on, I'm going to do a quick switcheroo here, and Adriana Alvarez is going to take over the pilot seat there. Hey, you're on the air. How are you?
You know what? After you talked about the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame and the dinner you're going to, I've been getting pushed lately. It isn't my idea. So I AI'd myself. It says Perry Stabler is recognized as a former amateur motocross champion with his significant achievements occurring during his formative years in the national amateur circuit. It says, I had regional dominance. He held numerous titles with the AMA District 15 and 16, which cover Indiana and Illinois regions. So I did, Jed. I messed up a couple times. I actually could have been state champion, but I went to race the Illinois. It was a 3-race
hold on a second,
series.
MX. Hold on. Are you going into the Hall of Fame?
Well, people are pushing me. And the thing of it is, the first person that pushed me to talk about it says, they all know me. They heard about this Hammond Hall of Fame, and now he has passed. And, time's getting run out, and everybody else keeps pushing me. And I got to get these numbers so I could get the season class trophy from Shady Hills, which was 13 races in 500A Pro class. And if you Google Perry Stabler, Hammond, Indiana, it says I had regional dominance, and I really did. I messed up one race, and I did mess up something else. It was a 3-race series in Indiana for state champion. I already had it wound up. I had a third and a first. And instead of finishing the last race, I went to Illinois because they said you wouldn't be in the top 10. And I took a third. And I took my mom with me just in case I got hurt, And she says, Perry, I can't watch. You're so high up in the air, I couldn't watch anymore. And what I'm trying to say is, somehow we got to start this with West Lacocious. I'd hate to see this trophy get thrown in a garbage can.
All right, hold on. Just stop for a second. And I talked to Wes. Wes is coming on to talk about the Hammond Hall of Fame. And just like with Brent Brazier, I was surprised. I never thought of it. But I never thought of exactly how important you were in the motocross world. And I've told people that you were my Keith and Kevin, my nephews, their idol. I would go motocrossing with them in St. John back when it wasn't all built up. And then they went on to be just, regional champions also. But you were the top of the game. And I never thought about, would you fit into the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame? And I will have to ask Wes about it. It's possible that it might not happen because your competitions didn't go through like a high school or a college. But let me see what the criteria are on that, because I'm here to say Perry Stabler was a god in the motocross world, and I'll attest to that. And if it is available that someone that it wasn't through high school, then I will be the person that submits your name. How's that?
Okay, thank you. Because I did shower before the show instead of after, and you started talking about the Hammond, some kind of you're going to. If you could help me out with that, and I'll let you go. But you could Google my name, Hammond, Indiana, and that's a lot of work. I raced for 24 years. That would go down the tubes, and I did help build 2 tracks for younger kids to do the sport. So,
hold on a second.
Like
your most famous ride though was about 20 feet down the hallways of WJOB. Just so you know. All right, we got to go.
Congratulations.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. 219-845-1100. Let's take another phone call. Can you bring it
Jimmy,
in?
This is Rick.
Hey, Rick.
My condolences to the Jackson family. But you guys talking about Trump with his approval rating. Donald Trump did back Jesse Jackson twice when he ran for president. He bankrolled him. But this thing about his approval rating. To me, that's it doesn't matter. He's the president, and so they use these approval ratings because people that are in Congress or Senate, just happen to be a Republican, and maybe he's backing them. To the people that think like that, to me, that's shallow. You're running for a governor or a senator. If you can't run on your own, morals and what you plan for the country, and to think that, he's with Trump. We're not going to back him at all. That's very shallow, really.
Well, you're making a moral judgment about it, and you can certainly do that. But the reality in politics is the person at the top of the ticket, their popularity really matters. And you saw that after Obama got elected, and he just got Democrats down the ticket, got hammered 2 years later. I mean, that's just how it is. It's how it's always been. And that's where it's at right now. I think 36% approval rating. If you're, here's a local effect. How many people filed against Frank Mervan? Right? Niemeyer didn't run against him, right? And he would be the best possible one, I think.
Jennifer Ruth Green dropped out.
And they dropped out because they're looking at the top of the ticket, and if the top of the ticket had a lot of momentum, then they might have a chance. But I think they're probably not even going to spend that much money here because
it didn't help them last time either. So
yeah, I mean it's another factor. But my point is that you don't see a top of the ticket name challenger on the Republican side to Mervan if he indeed wins the primary against Levita Sparks, and if it's America,
don't make me
baby.
laugh.
My point.
So should
go ahead.
Should Sparks be criticized, and they're not going to vote for her because she's running on a Republican ticket?
She's not running as a Republican. She's running as a Democrat.
Oh, she's not. Okay.
She's on the Democratic.
Who's running on a Republican?
I don't even know
the lady. What is her name? There's a woman who's running against.
Two people actually. Yeah, I don't know who
the people who are on the Republican ticket are getting. They're not going to give votes because of Donald Trump.
No, they're going to get votes. They just won't beat Mervan.
Yeah, I think they kind of gave that up, and I think that's a reflection of the strength of the top of the ticket. I mean, that's just how it is. There's a reality there, and you can make the judgment, oh, well, that's stupid. You should be able to just evaluate the candidate without looking at who's at the top of the ticket, but that's not how it plays out, man. That's just not the reality. That's
really sad. Really, really sad.
Well, it happens.
All right,
man. Thanks a lot, Rick. Hey, you know what? We got to take a short break.
Okay.
Let's get on the other side of this.
Is there ringing in your ears?
I have a light ringing in my ear.
And I know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
I'll fix it during the break, and we'll be right back on the voice and face of the region.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Strachan Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
Ogren Insurance, Hammond's oldest family-owned independent insurance agency, now in its third generation providing clients in the Chicago area with products from quality insurance companies to handle your every need. Regardless of driving history, Ogren Insurance can find the right coverage for you at competitive prices. To learn more about the insurance solutions and services we offer throughout Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan, call 219-933-0076 or visit our website, ogreninsurance.com. We're located at 6929 Homan Avenue in Hammond, Indiana. Do business locally with someone you know and trust.
For a fast and friendly car wash, go to Easy Clean Car Wash. Open 7 days a week in 4 convenient locations: Highland, Griffith, Cherville, and Lansing. Free vacuuming, air freshener, and a towel with every wash. It's fast, safe, and gentle. For more information and hours of all our locations, visit myeasyclean.com. Also, see how you can wash your car daily with our $10 Ultimate Wash for only $19.99 per month. Give your car the best clean at Easy Clean Car Wash.
From the gas in your car to the heat in your home and the roads that you drive on, our work powers daily life. We are USW Local 71, the proud men and women of the Whiting Refinery. We're not just refinery workers. We're your friends and neighbors, raising our families here, shopping in the same stores, and cheering in the same stands. USW Local 71, powering the region because we are the region.
Good morning, everyone. You're listening to The Morning Show on WJOB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. And you're also watching live here on YouTube. We're doing quick weather updates while we mess around with the mics. Yeah, there's no more ringing. Yeah. Maybe it was because, is it one of the mics or is it because I
turned the light on and the light was too close to
got you. Okay. Well, currently right now at the Shack and Van Til Studios, it is 43 degrees. Today we are seeing highs of 58 degrees and lows of 51. And it's going to be cooler with some cloudiness and then maybe just a little bit of rain in the nighttime. On Wednesday, highs of 69 degrees, lows of 39, turning sunny and warmer, partly cloudy. Thursday, if my screen don't jump, that would be great. Thursday, highs of 61 degrees, lows of 33, a shower and thunderstorms and rainy and thunderstorms in the early morning. Want to do traffic?
294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west. That looks all right, too. Bishop Ford's been rough up the gut of the Southland on other days, but not today. Really kind of light. But then as you get closer to the Dan Ryan, it's really kind of light, too, except between, say, 53rd and 26th Street. And then maybe a little bit, of course, at the Jane Byrne interchange. Skyway Toll Road, Borman, I-65, they're all moving along well. Hey, you want to sponsor sectionals? You can do that. Just email Sam at heartlandsportsnet.com, and it's pretty cheap. We're kind of selling it out, so it's a pretty good way to get introduced to WJOB. It's cheap as $600, and you'll be on a bunch of stuff, including a bunch of Purdue and IU games through the Big Ten and NCAA tournaments on the radio. And, of course, many, many games on TV on the Heartland Sportsnet network. And we have some big games tonight. They will not be on the radio, the high school games. It'll be college as Purdue and number 1 Michigan. Purdue hosts number 1 Michigan. When I did the sports yesterday, the AP hadn't come out yet, and I said they're number 2 Michigan coming in. I think they're number 1 in at least in 2 of the polls, and that'll go off a 5:30 tip. Don't forget, on Friday, we will not be putting the high school games on the radio on that day, but every other night there'll be high school games, and all day on Saturday, and college games, Cal College, IUN, Trinity, there's some others. And those are on TV and on the radio. But Tuesday and Friday are going to be college games. And Friday is going to be Purdue hosting IU. And what a game that's going to be. You don't think so?
I think so, definitely.
Yeah,
Move up your mic.
I think IU has a chance. Hey, she's
Move up your mic.
she's Verly Suggs, and she is Adriana. Adriana, welcome in. Thank you.
Yep.
I had some technical issues. I probably could.
In the morning.
Yeah,
he always does.
It's okay. Because usually when it's the mornings, like on Tuesdays and Thursdays, if you aren't on by 6:15, that's when I'll probably say something.
The-
But I know you play music, like actual, like regular music beforehand, and we cannot have that on YouTube. So that's probably why a lot of YouTube people are like, "Wow, you're starting late." It's like, no, actually, sometimes he starts
wants to
on
play
time.
his music.
You gotta, yeah, we
I
play
thought
the
I heard-
music.
was that John Denver I heard this morning? A little Rocky Mountain?
Yeah, we heard
Stuff
some
going
Rocky
on?
Mountain High.
Yeah,
some,
so we can't play that on
love that.
YouTube.
Neither.
So all the YouTube peoples that are like, he doesn't start on time, it's like, go to tune in app. But then I know a lot of people say sometimes the tune in app is not the most reliable.
You know, I
when
just-
listening in.
And plus, he doesn't. They're not his boss.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
He's
his
his own
owner.
boss.
His time is when he starts it. It's not he's starting on time. It's the show starts when he starts it.
You know, I start early sometimes. People
Yeah.
don't get mad
You
at
came
that.
on. You came on at 54 actually and said hello.
Yeah.
It was before the hour. So.
Sometimes I'll come on at like 5:40, depending on what it
Mhm.
is. Or 6:10. It is what it is.
Right.
I do want people to understand, just a shameless plug right here, that Adriana, I, and Lynette, mostly, along maybe with Joe Cimino, doing some sports, we're trying to kind of remake WJOB. I think that would be a good
Yep.
way of putting it. And here was a good example of it yesterday. Chuck Pullen and Bob Starkey had Micah Beckwith, the lieutenant governor, on.
That was a good interview.
It was a good interview.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
that was a real good
we're
interview.
developing a system. Honestly, it's really AI assisted. We're getting decent at using AI, and I'll show you something that we're going to use in AI that is going to kind of blow people's minds. But she had that on by noon, and it played. And that's what Adriana and Lynette are developing a system so that our segments that we're doing right now will be part of a podcast, and then they will play throughout the day along with better news, better weather, better traffic. And I got to tell you, it's all AI assisted. I know that probably bugs you.
So because I have a tendency to look at things a little differently than you, Jim. So when you play something on the radio, that's a radio show, whether it's a repeat or what have you. A podcast is usually done on the internet because it could be. You have to be very careful with podcasts because podcast people can pretty much say what they want. They're not held to the same rules that having an
On
FCC
radio, yes.
violation that is on the radio. So you have to be very careful playing a podcast over the radio because basically when it's on the radio, it is a radio show.
And I understand that, and I think
Mhm.
Adriana understands the rules. And I mean, she's been here years now and has a degree in all this, and we can make those decisions. Certainly, we have to clean up some of the podcasts that come our way, but let's be straight. A lot of the best material, like anybody listen to we haven't promoted this one, but the Cow Guys podcast.
We always promote it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, really?
It's every Thursday you're going to get a Cow Guy podcast. I know on our YouTube, and I looked at that, and it's through our podcast platform that we use to upload them. They sometimes do duplicates. So I know that in YouTube there's a lot of duplicates of it, but a lot of people do enjoy that podcast. We have a video and audio version, so later today we're going to go and we're going to clean those up. But that's every Thursday now. That if you guys record on Tuesdays, we have 2 backups just in case, and those go up every Tuesday. And I know that you said that one of them's already done. I just got to get
I got
audio files.
So here's the thing, Verly, and we stumbled on this. Is that we started putting games on. We built this network to have like a TV network, like a Chicago TV station. We spent a lot of money to put it on Amazon, Apple, Roku, and build all that stuff. Basically using COVID money times 2.5. And so we stumbled on the idea that you could use your radio station to build a TV sports network. It was a total accident. We built it for a news talk station like Channel 7. It didn't work, but the sports took off. So then we learned, like, well, gosh, you can build off of the radio station into digital. And that company is doing really well.
Fantastic.
So what we're doing now with Adriana leading this is saying, all right, we have all this talent around. How do we make a podcast network? We went to the podcast conference. It's coming up, by the way. We got to go to it again.
Okay.
And we went up with Matt Hansen, and we learned how to build this. But our edge is that we have all of this talent off of the radio station. Like Cow Guy is a good one. Mastering Local Marketing is a really good podcast. Will Glaros does Limb Walkers.
Mm-hmm. We have a meeting with that at 11, by the way.
The most talented person that I work with here in the mornings does not do a podcast and will not do a podcast.
You can keep convincing her all you want. I don't think you're going to get it.
But my point is that the message that you bring is limited here to the WJOB audience. You start putting
Which
that
is
out.
fine.
Look at Mastering Local Marketing. Our biggest listenership is in Australia.
That's wonderful.
And you would never have that
Down
if it was
under.
just on the radio, right? So my point is it's changing.
No, actually, you would have it because you're on YouTube. You're on the TuneIn app. When I was in other than China, because they had different ways of blocking what you could do on the internet. But say if I was in Haneda, and I could watch you, so I can watch you through the TuneIn app. So back then, I think I'm trying to remember how I used to watch you. I think it was through your JED network or something through the internet.
That's when we were trying to
Right.
build that.
Yeah, so there were many ways that I was able to watch you when I was in a foreign country.
But it's not easy on demand to like just post a YouTube show. And once you do a specific, you're right, there is a specific thing to the podcasting, but Adriana has come in and said, hey, we can't just do radio, right? We got to have a YouTube network.
No, you got the wave of the future.
No, but it's
just,
not my idea. It's her idea.
And she's a brilliant young lady.
Well, I was a little angry at it, but I watched the show yesterday when they had Micah Beckwith on.
Yeah,
and
you
I'm
were
like,
able to see it.
And I was like, wow, that was really cool. I got to see Beckwith. I got to see the guys in the studio. I got to see the comments on the side. And I'm like, wow. And then there's like 400 subscribers. I'm like, who the... You know what? You're right. I was wrong. That was my point where I started this.
I got you.
I was wrong.
Adriana, I hate to do this on the air, but I have to do it on the air. So, like, etiquette would dictate that certain things you don't tell a person. Like, if a woman has a run in her stockings and she's walking down the street, you don't tell her you have a run in stockings because she can't change her stockings. But if a guy's walking down the street and tissue is coming out of the back of his pants, then definitely that's something he can change. So you go up to him and say, hey, sir, you might want to step into the restroom.
What if he has
and
his
check
fly down?
You definitely need to tell him that because something could pop out. So so I have this thing about fashion and etiquette. And first thing I do when I buy something is cut the hanger.
Yeah.
So you have one in the back and one in the front.
It's because these
and
ones
you're on the camera.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure you tuck those in.
Yeah, it's because it's like I usually do cut those off, but then it's so hard to hang them up.
I know with that type of sweater, you just have to fold
off
it
the
and hang
shoulder.
it.
219-845-1100. Adriana's here, so we're on the air and have good levels and all that. And, of course, we have the most talented person to never do a podcast. And
Jim
that's Verly
Dedelow.
Sugg.
I'm telling you, when I turn on WJOB and I hear you in the morning, it makes me smile. So if you're on Chuck's show, they're all your show. They're just someone you let come on. We're all someone you allowed to come on. Jed in the Region was a normal Monday through Friday show. That's what everybody tuned in for. Then you decided you needed a break, and so you started allowing other people to come in and get these big heads that they have a show now. But it's all still you. So when I tune in the morning and I hear you on a show, it makes me smile because I want to hear you, okay? And the majority of people do want to hear you, okay? So they can name their show whatever they want. We can be what they said yesterday or whatever it is, but it's still you, okay?
I don't know what to do with that.
So let's go to the
But
phone
thank you.
lines.
Hey, you're on the air. How are you? Hey, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good morning, Judge.
Hey,
Good
what's
morning.
happening?
Can
What'd you
hear
do?
me?
Let the dog out?
Good morning. Come on. No.
Okay, what's going on? What's
Just
on your
listening.
mind?
Well, I was listening to you earlier on. You were talking about popular flag.
You are cutting out.
Hey, man, go near the window or something, okay?
You're
because
cutting out.
you're cutting out.
Can't hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're probably on a cell
Got
phone.
it.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Talking about populism and flying the flag and all that. The problem is too many of these people tie their identity to one person, and they wrap themselves around it, and they can only see in one direction, unfortunately. And like you have touched on, some people are coming out and calling out, and the latest blurb out of Marjorie Taylor Greene, even though she came out with some real wackadoo blurbs, now she actually used the cult word in calling out the MAGA people. And back in the day when you were saying about flying the flag, I'm pretty sure my dad voted for Reagan. He was one of those guys, as were my uncles. If you started to push politics and start asking, they were asked who they voted for, they would just say right in your face, none of your damn business, and that was it. It's not like that anymore. It's not like that anymore,
Right.
And that's part of the problem.
Well, explain what's part of. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm sitting here every time I come on, which is 3-4 times a week, trying to figure out what in the hell's going on in America. I literally don't have that. I don't have a grasp on what's happening. So you're saying that's part of the problem. What's part of the problem?
Your phone is
Yeah,
giving
I'm
us
sorry,
a
dude. Your
down
phone's
today.
kicking out. We're
Please
going to have
call
to
back.
dump it. Yeah. Yeah.
So he's talking about identity politics, basically, and what he mentioned about the privacy of people who they voted for. But, I mean, when I moved to East Chicago, Indiana, that is the city of no privacy of who you vote for. If you didn't have a big pasterisk sign in your yard, your sidewalk wasn't getting paved. That's just how it was. Identity politics in East Chicago was the thing. If you were voting for somebody, you better have their sign in your yard to show who you're voting for. And so that of maybe in presidential elections, it might have been a little different. You weren't so vocal. But I think in small towns, and especially the bastion of East Chicago, it was very visual who you were supporting.
He's talking about one of your comments of having a Trump flag next to the American flag, but he may be referencing 10 years ago.
He referenced more than 10 years. He referenced over almost 40 years ago with Ronald Reagan and, not sharing who you voted for at that time. It was none of anyone's business who you voted for. And that was a bygone era. Now people wear the shirt, they wear the hat, they have the bumper stickers, It's obvious who you're voting for. If I'm supporting the candidate, nowadays usually I'm going to have something that's going to show that.
219-845-1100.
But I'm not going to wait. But I don't idolize the person. I'm not flying their flag. I'm wearing a T-shirt to their fundraiser.
Hey, you're on the air. How are you?
Hello.
Hello, is Jed there?
Hello.
Hey, is Jed.
Hi. Okay, it is me. How you guys doing? Hello,
morning.
Burley and Jed.
Hey, what's up?
Good morning. Yeah. I just wanted to offer my condolences as well to the Jackson family. And I wanted to share my story about meeting Reverend Jackson. And you'll never guess where.
Where?
Munster Lanes.
At the Cracker Barrel.
Similar.
At the Cracker Barrel in Hammond. Yeah.
On Kennedy Avenue.
On Kennedy Avenue. So I was sitting there and with my wife when she was still with us. And I see him walk by. It's like, holy smokes, that's Reverend Jackson. I said, my goodness, And so I was all excited to meet him. And then on the way out, and he's got two guys with him, and on the way out, I got up, I ran out to him. I said, Reverend Jackson, is it okay, if I shake your hand and stuff? And he was very friendly, very nice. We shook hands. Like, may I take a picture? And my wife came up with me, and we're standing there. Taking pictures and stuff. He takes off his hat and puts it on my wife's head.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And I have that picture, and it's priceless, So it two good memories, and so, yeah. So that I needed to share that,
Thank
so I
you
was so
for sharing
excited
that.
to.
Thank you for
meet him, So.
Yeah, it's kind of a sad time. Yeah. I mean, it's like the passing of
all around.
Not just Jesse Jackson, but kind of what he stood for.
For an era.
For an era.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Talk to you. 219-845-1100. Hey, you're on the air on WJOB, the voice and face of the voice of the region for 102 years. What's up?
Welcome to Jed and the Region Rats of Hammond, Indiana. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. What's happening? Is this Steve Stanek from Arizona?
Safety Steve calling in with a happy note. First of all, my condolences to the Jackson family, too. I got a story about him, but I'll save that to the end. But I just wanted to call for kudos for about 3 Hammond firemen. A1, Charles Cook, finally getting the Hammond Hall of Fame. What a great person, real big Hammond supporter. Still living in Hammond. And then we have Hammond fireman Joe Stanley and Brian Rochins. Both of their sons are going to be down at the state finals for wrestling. You want to talk about a group of Hammond firemen who are doing well. I just want to say kudos to them.
Wonderful. Congratulations.
You still stay in touch with all the Hammond firemen?
Oh, I certainly do. I call them all the time. They always say, look, you're not a fireman now. They probably would have got rid of you. I said, I kind of get that wherever I go.
Part of it's that incredibly wretched-looking beard you got going, man. You're scary. You know what?
You're going to love this.
You look like the guy on Shameless.
Somebody else told me that. So, I shaved it off, and I'll tell you why. I was out at the store, and some guy told me I looked like the guy in the old bottle of Mountain Dew. I said, that's it. I shaved that baby off.
What was that guy's name on Shameless?
I'm golfing.
Frank Gallagher.
Frank Gallagher.
Is that who you're referring to?
I saw him on Facebook, and I look, and I go, Alexis, I go, does that look like...
No, if you saw a picture, you know exactly who that is, yep.
He looked just like he has a hat on, and I'm like, Stanek, what happened to you, man?
So but don't you work at the hospital, too? You have to...
Yeah. Yes, but we recently had to wear masks, so that's why I grew it, because of the big flu epidemic. So I shaved it off. I'm clean shaven, and I think my last picture on Facebook when I was golfing, you'll see a clean cut version of the old me again.
Oh, that's
old me, but same attitude.
What attitude is that, by the way?
You know what? Hey, I march to my own beat. I'm like you, Jed. You know what? As long as we make people happy and we don't offend them and we bring a smile and we make everybody have a great day, that's what it's all about. If we are all exactly on the same page, we'd all be very boring. It's kind of good to have a little bit of little riff here and there. I think it makes us better people, better business people, and better human beings. I mean, unfortunately, some get out of hand, but you know what? Hey, such is life. But I want to tell you, Jed, you guys are doing a great job on the radio station. I listen to you guys all the time, and I love Burley. I tell you what, one day I'd like to meet Burley, but I know we're definitely not on the same page. But in essence, we are. We're God-loving people. That we care about people. And sometimes put your parties to difference. And you know what? We got to get back to the way it used to be. I remember in Hammond, everybody went to St. Mary's Church. Everybody shoveled everybody's sidewalks, mowed their lawns, didn't ask for nothing. We looked out for each other. Somewhere along the line, you know what? We got off track. But because we're all from the region, we're great people. And everywhere we go, everybody asks me, why are you the way you are? I go, you know what? I'm from the region, man. It's where you're taught to get along with everybody, And it's amazing because people come to my house, they go, Steve, why do you got 12 pillows on your bed? Because when I was a kid, I didn't have a pillow. Now I can have 12, so I'm going to have as many as I like.
That's beautiful.
So that's growing up in the region. That's region roots. And I love your guys' show. Really, you're amazing.
Thank you,
Jed, and you know what? You do open up. And Jed opens that airway for everybody, and I was so blessed to be able to go on. And I'm looking forward to when I get back into town in July. You're going to see me out there early in the morning, wait for Jed to roll up on that bike so I can get some airtime.
All right, Frank, thanks a lot, buddy.
Jed is definitely the one that needs to be in a Hall of Fame.
I don't know if you guys covered this because this happened yesterday. Robert Duvall had passed away yesterday.
Yes.
He's the original Godfather.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. God, that was a classic moment.
Yep.
He's kneeling down with no shirt on. And they're bombing everywhere all around him in Vietnam. And he's just very calmly says, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. And I'm not sure anyone else could have delivered that line any better. Hey, 219, I got to tell you, we're getting new phones, right? And
So we're not using this no more.
Well, I will from home. I'm going to do some
Okay.
shows from home in the afternoons. But we're getting it took a long time, so we had to use this kind of temporary system.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no limit on the amount, so it could be
They'll be
seven.
all lined up just
It
like
could
it
be
used to be on the
7,
Telos
8.
machine.
But we got the Telos machine. It only has 3 lines, and so we'll go back to that.
Mhm.
I know you don't like that.
No, I honestly, until I actually learned this and got used to this, I was like, okay, this is great because I can see who's calling in, and
so the names come up like
the names
caller
come up.
ID.
It tells you when the last time they called in too. So
Oh, really? So that's how Jim knew right ahead. that
Yeah,
it was
so
Ron or-
like
okay.
right now I'm looking
See,
at
I
the
can't
list. We
see that
have
far.
yesterday, February 3rd, January 6th, yesterday.
Oh, get outta here.
You get their names, and also like if they called in today and they're recalling in, you can see that as well. So that's the only
Wow.
reason why I do like this system.
So
The
who's the
Telos is
caller
very
that calls
easily.
the most?
Who's the one that calls the most?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. If there's probably a setting on there that you could see.
Right.
Yeah, we could probably
Who our number one fan or hater is, whichever one they want to be.
219-845-1100. Let's take some more phone calls. The voice and voice of the region. I'm getting rid of the face of the region.
Okay.
It's just the voice of the region. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, getting back to the, you're afraid there'll be societal breakdown if they let all the information out. You know, it's just like the guy that's going to retire. They think, the world's going to stop when they retire. And it's just like WJOB, after you move on, it's still going to carry on. Just like Reverend Jesse Jackson passed away, Operation Push, it's not going anywhere. Let it all out and let the chips fall where they may. I have to agree with Verley that, these are just men. And if you believe in God, that, these are just men, Jim, and life will go on. So that's my statement for the morning.
So let's talk about that. Verley and I have a little bit of disagreement on and you too, obviously, a little bit of disagreement on the possibility here. And I had never really, all I thought was like they're just trying to shield rich men, okay? And I get that. And that is what's happening, and eventually it's all going to come out. So why don't they just let it all out? They're bringing it out slowly. That's making it worse. But then Brent said that. He goes, well, what if it's that bad and it reaches that deeply? What's going to happen to society? And then I'm like, wow, man, you're right. If it was that, I mean, it's a universal. There's only one side on this issue of trafficking young women and rich and powerful men taking advantage of them. There's only one side of that. So if a bunch of rich and powerful men are found to have been part of this, and it's a lot of them, then what happens? You know what I mean? There's some real unrest that could come with this. And I'm open to seeing that. 219-845-1100. Let's take another phone call. I don't think you see that.
Jim, I think that I see it better than you see it because I understand. I've dealt with human trafficking, and I understand that this is something that has happened. Like, rather than having to go to Thailand, they could go to Epstein's Island. So the people, those vices, those people that want that perversion, they will still find another place for it. And it has reaching tentacles that are going to hit a lot of places, but I don't think it's going to break down society. And that's where I disagree. I don't think it's going to break down society. It'll just, someone will replace the next person and they'll move on. Just like your previous caller just said. When you're going, you talk about all the people who were here before you. When you're gone, they'll be talking about you just like that. Well, Jim Dedelow used to do the morning show, and he used to have this little quirky language he spoke, and he yelled at me in my first day, but I'm still here, and he's gone.
Hey,
and I don't mean me. I'm just saying in
and
general.
They're going to say he had this one.
They won't even remember me.
That is not
we
true.
We lost everything.
I am going to, it all went off. Sorry about that. Well, all you.
Sorry, caller. I
All
think
of
we
6 people
lost you.
waiting. We just lost that.
No,
So
it's
sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll get 'em
Hey,
back.
listen. Let's take a short break. We got one more segment. We'll try to jam some phone calls in there, and then we got Calumet Painting today. We got the Town of Munster, and we have some other podcasts that we record a little bit later. So let's take a short break, and we'll be right back on the Voice of the Region.
Show your love this Valentine's Day and
Webbing.
celebrate your special someone with Strachan Van Til's wide array of beautiful bouquets, plants, arrangements, and balloons. Need flowers for another occasion? We have that too. From everyday favorites to seasonal selections, all are handcrafted, personally designed, and artfully arranged by our floral designers. Weddings, school dances, events, funerals, anything you need, Strachan Van Til is here for you. Now that's something to love. Life made simple. Shopping made easy. It's a Strachan Van Til thing.
For over 140 years, the Central Midwest Carpenters have built our communities in Northwest Indiana. Are you ready to join the effort? We have long-term work, competitive pay, and the best benefits in the industry. We pride ourselves on innovative training and commitment to worksite safety. Earn as you learn as an apprentice. A solid career built on a solid legacy. For more info, go to carpenters.com.
Are you searching for a college where you belong? Calumet College of St. Joseph wants to know you and give you the support you need to succeed. Are you worried about how you'll pay for your degree? 95% of our students receive financial aid, including scholarships and grants. Need some extra help with your classes? You'll benefit from our small class sizes, free tutoring, internship planning, faculty mentors, and so much more. Come experience our accepting, supportive college family for yourself. Schedule your campus visit and apply at ccsj.edu.
If you're thinking of finishing your basement, installing outdoor security cameras, or your business has plans to break ground on a new project in 2024, Powering Indiana, Lake County is your source for the region's best electricians. With IBEW, Local 697 electricians, you're choosing the highest level of safety and reliability. Visit poweringindiana.org today and ensure your project is in the hands of skilled professionals.
AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM. I apologize for the horrible music, but Adriana made
I like my little smooth jazz. That's non-copyright. It's great.
you made us go on YouTube.
Yes.
And, and I appreciate that because I told you, I was sitting at home watching that Micah Beckwith interview.
Was that the first time you looked at the YouTube?
Yeah.
That's what Goddard said in the comments. He was like, "It's like Jed watching YouTube for the first time."
and I even commented, and then everybody stopped. They're like, "Oh no, Jed's here!" And I fully enjoy the comments that are going. Goddard is he's a star in knowing what's going on around here. So I like seeing his comments, and there's a few others that just
we have our usuals, yeah.
We ought to somehow bring those comments into the show.
Well,
I mean,
we as the producers, we screen them. There are sometimes that if it's earlier in the mornings and I see that somebody comment something, I'm like, oh my gosh, please no, because if it's something vulgar, I gotta take it out. Even though we're not limited to our radio rules, YouTube, we'd like to keep the same decorum.
So no, I think that we should have some way of putting them on the bottom of the screen, like some of the better comments, and it's just.
Some of
them
people can see them. Everybody can see them.
I know, but we're not saying them on the air, and maybe we should integrate them. A guy named Smirkanish on CNN on Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock, he brings all of his social media comments onto his show, and he'll ask a question in the morning on his YouTube feed.
So if you want something that's like that, how you see the comments on the screen going on the side, not just if it's in the pop-up window like that, that's different streaming platforms. So for instance, the live stream platform Twitch, that's how that works.
You can't do that on YouTube?
No.
Okay. Hey, 294 around the city. Actually looks pretty good. There was an earlier accident. Bishop Ford up the gut of the Southland has been very light. So has the Dan Ryan. Skyway Toll Road, Borman, I-65. I don't have anything major. Goddard hasn't texted me. So it's probably not a bad day to get out and drive around. In terms of the weather, what do we have, Adriana?
Currently, right now, at the Shack Van Til Studios, it is 44 degrees. Today, we are seeing highs of 58 and lows of 51. Some cloud and cooler weather, little rain in the nighttime. Wednesday, highs of 69, lows of 39, which I don't know if I believe in that. It's almost going to be 70 degrees in February, but okay. Turning sunny and warmer, partly cloudy. Thursday, highs of 61, lows of 33. Shower and thunderstorm, rain and thunderstorm early in the morning.
And don't forget, it is Fat Tuesday.
Yep.
Hey, go on out to Big Frank's Sausage. Go on out to our good friends at Doc's Smokehouse. Brent comes from the South. He knows New Orleans area well, and he's got all sorts of gumbo. He's got cocktails that are centered around New Orleans and what goes on down there. So Doc's is in Dyer on Calumet Avenue, and I'll probably be there early afternoon just to have one, and then they make me a couple of special gluten-free things, and then I'll go on my way. So, I don't know, 2 to 3, somewhere like that. Hey, Verley, we got a bunch of people we got to move in, so we got to move through. You got to put your mic.
Where's your headset?
Yeah, and I do got to.
I left my glasses, so I go to the ladies' room. I'm going to do a bathroom talk, just like Jim used to do, and there's no lights, and so I have to feel my way around like a person who is visually impaired. And then I go, and Jim had mentioned that he's been using the women's restroom, so of course he didn't put the seat up. He left the seat up.
When I'm doing the show and I have 45 seconds to go pee and come back, I get to the first restroom. All right. Adriana is just grossed out. Adriana.
I feel bad for our guests.
Can you imagine?
I'm just going there to
Pitch
pee.
black in there, and he's got the seat up.
I'm sorry.
At least I didn't fall in.
Hey, listen. From this
I feel
point
so
forward,
bad for our guests.
this point forward, I will not use the women's bathroom. I will just go one more door.
Thank you. One more door.
Hey,
okay.
I don't know what to say. We got to take some phone calls. Burley is doing bathroom talk here on WJOB. Hey, you're on the air.
Good morning.
He's doing bathroom talk because you got the manners of a goat. Are you insane? Though the woman's bathroom is one step from the men's bathroom, Jimmy.
It's just about 5
what the
seconds
hell is
closer.
wrong with you?
It's literally about 5 seconds closer.
Are you insane? You're using the woman's bathroom?
Every male.
You should be taken out of the building right now.
Oh, my goodness.
And I should send someone over with a couple 2x4s and tune you up. Don't ever go into the woman's bathroom over there.
Listen.
It's right next to it, Dedelow.
Listen, in 1984,
Jesus.
I had a show here with Regina D. Biddings,
Yes,
right?
I know Regina
And I was
very
the
well.
afternoon
Close friend.
host. And it was just me
God.
and her in the building, and she's doing what Adriana is right now, and I'm the host. And I'm 22 years old, and we go to a break, and I run down the hall, and I go to the men's room, and then I come back, and I'm late. And she says, you got to do that quicker. And I go, well, I walk down the hall, I go to the men's room, I wash my hands, I come back. And she goes, well, why aren't you like all the other men in this building? They're so pressed for time.
Don't wash your hands.
No, they go right to the women's room because it's closer.
So that's what you did.
Regina D. Biddings told me that.
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to
40
get on
years
Regina
ago.
about that.
So anyways, what's on
All
your
right,
mind?
wait a minute. I hate to say I got to apologize. I forgot you got evicted from Purdue University over there, and now you're in the old building. Okay, so it's okay to go in there now. My bad.
All right. Anyways, what's
So
on
this
your
caller ID thing, kind of spooks me. I'm going to have to go back to a burner phone.
Don't worry, we're going back to
quick
the old
questions.
system. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, two quick questions regarding Epstein. So correct me if I'm wrong, but that Bondi, the AG, testified before some guys or whoever the hell they were And behind her were a bunch of victims, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Are you guys, you got to interact here. But so there were victims standing behind there. My question is, and I got one more, why is it that we all know that Bill Gates is a total scumbag? And we know Bill Clinton's a total scumbag. He admitted stuffing a 21-year-old under the White House. In the Oval Office, he put a 21-year-old under the desk for his own personal satisfaction. And yet nobody, not a single victim, has named anybody. And there's pictures with these two guys with scantily clad, it looks like teenagers. And not a single victim has gone to Gloria Aldridge and said, hey, here's the names. I'll tell you, I got dates and times and everything. It's never, I don't know, how has it never come up? The other question I have, and this is probably more for you, Jimmy, you're with the NBA and that. How is it someone was able to buy the most profitable Budweiser distributorship in America and give it to his two sons with no money down back in late 1990? And that was Jesse Jackson. He acquired River North Distributorship, gave it to his two sons who had no experience in anything, and he put no money down, and he got it for free, and then the kids sold it for over $1 billion in like 2012, whatever it was. I'll hang up and listen to your answer, guys. That'd be great.
Address the first question.
I'm not addressing any of the questions.
Are you still mad about the bathroom?
No, I'm not mad. I'm not mad about anything, but we're going to move on.
219-845-1100. Hey, you're on the air.
How come Donald Trump was able to acquire all the things he acquired and gave it to his sons? You know, how is he dealing with all these, rich Middle Eastern countries and taking planes from places? And, please don't ask me about Jesse Jackson on the day of him passing away in a beer distribution center. Really? So, no, he does not deserve me to respond to his question.
Hey, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, am I talking with you?
Yes,
Hi, Jed Burley. I have a comment about the Epstein and releasing one name at a time. We have more of a dramatic factor in the news, and we could talk about them stepping down and having more of a shame factor when we release one at a time as opposed to 100 or more, and then a bunch of them will all fall to the side, and then there'll be no drama for them.
I had not thought about that. There's more shame factor as they come along. I mean, today we lost one, the
bless you,
Pritzker, ahead of Hyatt.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the big guy. How does he go down? And 2-3 days ago, the head of Goldman Sachs, legal.
Yeah.
I mean, if all of the all right, let's play the make believe game. What happens if they release all the names at once?
Everybody who's in the file knows who they are, so they are already trying to do damage control to make sure that their families are taken care of before it comes out.
That, and then also a lot of these victims, I can imagine some of them have been threatened that if you come out saying that I did this, this, and this, I'll come for not only you, your family, like everything that you have. I can imagine there's a few of those. But then also I feel like, I don't know how many years ago, maybe it was a few years ago, that weren't a group of victims saying that they were going to come out with a list of their own. And we haven't seen that. And I don't know what's keeping that, if that's something where there are threats or if there's something bigger that we're not seeing.
Or there could be civil lawsuits that people are waiting to,
Yeah, because with a lot of this stuff, you have to wait for like all the court stuff to be done before you can even say anything about it.
Right.
So caller, what do you think would happen if somebody just released the whole thing, had a copy of everything, and just released it, and all these names came out at once? What do you think would happen to America?
There would be a lot of chaos, and I just think there would be a bunch that would fall through the cracks because there's no way that our media could handle 100 names all of a sudden at once. You know, it's sort of like when you have a big news story and you release it on a Friday afternoon and nobody ever pays attention because it's the weekend and they don't turn on the news. And by Monday morning, there's a new story and everyone's forgot about what happened on Friday afternoon.
You know what? Once again, just like Brent saying that, I'm trying to get my hands around this situation because I think it's something that is just the beginning. And you're right. If they brought them all out at the same time, we wouldn't be able to handle them here. We have so many other topics we got to get to. We didn't even get to the warehouse in Maryville, which not yet. But it's still, it's so, here's why. Every night you sit down and it's the same thing. Something got released. Here's a video of a young girl. This person wanted to go to the island. I mean, every night it's the same thing, and it's so
right.
sad.
And the media is controlling that. The media is controlling that, and they're probably like, let's do one at a time. So we have enough stories and enough entertainment, and the viewers, and because everyone will tune in to see, okay, who's next and what's going to happen next. If you do it all at one time, what are we going to talk about tomorrow? There'll be something different to talk about tomorrow. And this drama factor, because it's a lot of drama, right? It's drama and everybody's listening, so they're getting the views.
Same here. It is what it is. Hey, thanks for the phone
Thanks
call.
for your call.
I appreciate it. Can you guys take the next one? I need
Yes,
to
you
answer
can.
the door. Take the next call.
Yeah, I checked the door before I said, just to be sure if anyone was out
Yeah,
there.
that's why I was like, I don't know if we are going to have our next show, but we're just going to keep going along with the calls. Good morning, caller. You are on the air. What's on your mind?
I just wanted to say that Jed sounds like a Catholic bishop so worried about the people that are being accused.
How so?
Well, he doesn't want it to come out.
He
It's
didn't
like,
say that.
oh, we can't let it out because it's, well, he was saying, what's it going to do to society? Why is he worried about
Well, actually, what happened was on
these people.
that was
These
brought
people
up
did
on
wrong.
another show that he's responding to. Another host said that comment, and that's what Jim keeps bringing that up. He's not the one that initially
Okay.
said that comment.
But I know what you're
I didn't hear
referring
the
to.
other show.
Yeah, it was another show, and he's mentioned it a couple of times. And that host actually called in this morning, and it's Brent Brazier actually said that it would be a societal breakdown, and so that's what Jim keeps referring to.
Yeah, I don't see that. I mean, this stuff
Yeah, I
should
don't
come
either.
out.
Yeah, I know what you mean, caller. What he was like referring to, like to what would happen to society, because I think it's such a big case that has impacted so many individuals that the moment that it does come out, like what's gonna happen? It's that initial thought of like, okay, how many things are gonna break down that we wouldn't even consider.
I don't think anything's going to break down. I
Yeah, I
think
don't
that
either.
yeah, I don't. I just think that people will go on the list of villains who have done wrong. They'll lose position. Someone else will replace them, and life will go on. And the trauma that the young victims are experiencing will continue, because then they'll just be brought out more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at some point, they need to start addressing those people. And how
Yes.
are we going to help them?
Most definitely.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you
There
for
go.
sharing.
Thank you, caller. All right, we got another one. Good morning, caller. You are on the air. What's on your mind?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, we're all talking about who. I want to know what I've heard. I've heard and been around where I want to know really what they were doing on that island. I mean, these guys were coming in, but what were they doing? What happens if what I've heard is that there was cloning.
Cloning? Like
cloning.
Human, like
Yes.
human cloning?
Yes. There was. Now, this is just what I've read and what I've seen, and I know it's, it could be impossible, but now I'm curious of what was going on in that island.
Well, people were living their fantasies. They're
dark twisted.
Yeah. As far as cloning, I
Yeah,
haven't
I mean,
heard anything
what I
in that
think
regard.
Right, but I mean, there's something deeper in that. Like I said, maybe I'm overthinking it, but I really don't care who was there. I want to know what they did when they were there. Because it sounds like it's another, open to all 24/7.
Well, no, you had to be.
Like I said,
anyone
maybe
could
you
just
had-
go there.
Yeah, and
you
there's people. I think that they sold the island. There's still people on there because it's like there's still all the security. There's people that are on the
Right.
island at the moment, but it's sold to other people if they are continuing with what we are
authors
told.
have actually written books that
Yeah.
actually kind of reference what was going on there without it being, actually the Epstein story.
Yeah, but I can imagine like how
Right, okay.
how you're saying like what were they doing?
Did you hear anything
and
about
all
cloning on the island? I haven't heard anything about that.
They were into like, what do you do to preserve life and
Yeah.
live longer and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I think cloning was just a minor part of
If
that.
anything, I look at it as we see all these stories of, like for instance, like SVU, Law and Order, all that stuff. You see all these criminal shows with all of these different types of
Yeah.
crimes. They have to come from somewhere. It's not. Don't think somebody's just like, oh yeah, this and this and this can happen.
like
The
I
worst
said,
things.
I'm overthinking it, but then, it's like maybe that's why I would think that we couldn't handle 100% of all that stuff coming out at one time. Because they might be talking about the names, but we know who the perverts are, but I would like to just know what was actually going on.
I'm with you, man.
For those,
I just want to know. I was that kid. My mom,
Yeah,
my mom used to say, "Will you quit asking questions?" But I just want to know, Mom. Is there a God? Where does
Yeah,
He live?
yeah.
Well, I mean,
Just
how
like-
long is the world? All these questions.
Yeah.
And it just is like, I don't know. Just curious.
I think Carter was, I'm not Carter, Clinton, he was set up, for him to get caught with Monica because they needed Clinton and she had the dress and I overthink things and she had the dress and they used it against him somehow. You don't just keep a dress like that. I mean, only if you're in that mindset. See, I think too much into all of this. I go deep and, like you say, I ask why.
All right, man. Thanks for the phone call.
Thank you.
219-845-1100. Hey, you're on the air. Go ahead.
What's on your mind?
What were they doing on the island? They were Satan worshiping, cannibalism. I mean, yeah, that's what was going on. I mean, yeah, but the nightly news ain't going to tell you that on 2, 7, or 5. But I will say this: I do agree with this. Is a great Tuesday going on here. I agree with Verley here today. I don't think this is going to cause I don't think 100 perverts are going to cause society to collapse of 8 billion people. Sorry. So,
What if everything came out and it was 10 times worse than anybody imagined? You know what I mean? That's what I think.
It can't get no worse. Good.
No, you go. It can't get no worse. Are you kidding me?
That's a double negative.
Well, no, Jed, it's all came out what they were doing. It just depends what news station you're listening to. They were, like I said, this was devil worshiping, cannibalism, the worst stuff you could imagine. That's what was going on. I mean,
obviously
don't think that they were just
you're being cynical about that part of it, but I just
cynical.
Well, I mean, I have never heard there was cannibalism on Little St. James. They're not eating other people. Why are you saying that?
Well, because, Jed, if you listen to these Congress people talk after they're reading this stuff, they're talking about beef jerky and putting the beef jerky in the freezer and just everything, these little code words that they were using. It don't take a genius to kind of dissect it to see what they were really doing. I mean, no, these people were hardcore sick,
But so that's back to the point that what if it is really, really far-reaching? You know what I mean? Like more than we could even think about. And I agree with you, Verley, in that there are people right now that are making preparations and moving money around and moving their houses to to more secure locations and stuff because they know it's going to come out. And
yeah, and it's just like really said, like me and really agree on society's not going to collapse. For example, Pritzker. Okay, he resigned from Hyatt. Guess what? People are still checking into Hyatt today, folks, and that company will still run. If Bill Gates left Microsoft today, he probably don't even have his hands in it like he did at the beginning, and Microsoft would still run. So no. Now you're going to expose a lot of perverts, but no, society's not going to collapse.
All right, man. Hey, I'm playing golf tomorrow. Maybe I'll see you. Talk to you.
Are you really?
Yeah, I think so.
There you go.
Hey, you're on the air.
Thanks for
Last
the call.
phone call, then we're gonna zip it up. Hey, you're on the air. How are you?
I'm well, but I think this is a much bigger problem than anyone thinks.
Thank
and this
you.
is going to affect either side.
Thank you.
Because it's impossible not to support. Yep, it's impossible not to support it, and it's impossible not to drop your side, because it's all of them. And this is much bigger. This is in the intelligence agencies what they call a controlled demolition. That is what our country is involved right now. This is a slow burn. They cannot release everything. And if you really want to know, and you want to see the videos, you'll figure out how to take the extension off of it and make it clear. Because there's a ton of PDFs out there. If you just change the link in the address bar from PDF to MP4, you'll see all the stuff. You can also take out all the redactions and all the covered stuff. And if you don't think that's a coincidence or that was done on purpose, because, see, America is a place where the people actually still create its reality. And the people are the ones that are going to have to discover this and call for action. And when you've got a bunch of people saying it's too much or it's not going to do this, you just wait, folks. If you have heard me over the last 5 or 6 years, I have told you and I've explained there will be a series of events that come, and we are now here. I've been saying it. Go back and listen to my archives. If anyone's decided to chop up anything I said, except for myself, and save it and play it, you'll hear what I've said over the last few years.
Hold on a second.
This is it,
You've
folks.
chopped your own stuff
Yes.
up? Can you get that to us?
I have been saving I have saved nearly every single call and every bit that I have produced in the last 6 years, and I have archived all of it. I
All
saved
right.
it for this exact moment.
Well, I got
Because
your
this is where I
number.
have to
We
prove
want
myself.
that because what Adriana's
You
doing.
want a podcast, Brad?
Oh,
She's been trying to get
jeez.
him.
Did you hear what she just asked you?
We'll push it. We'll give you a podcast. Whatever you want to name
I'll
it, whatever
get to it.
description. Got you.
Yeah, I know. I will come in and talk about it. But there's going to be. I mean, there has to be some things to make sure that we are allowed to not say what you want, but just really let it out, because I think everyone deserves it. I will happily bring that in, and I will happily provide that. This is going to tie into our financial system, you guys. This is going to tie into a bunch of huge stuff. I mean, if you think that I've been speaking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for 14 years, and now all of a sudden it's all in the Epstein files, we have to wise up a little bit here. There's something else going on, and it's going to be either we're going to accept it or not. But that's how far I'm going to go, because did you guys know Jesse Jackson passed away just recently, a couple minutes ago? I didn't know if you guys heard about that or the breaking
we
news.
talked about it earlier.
I didn't hear. I was on a...
Yeah, thank you for the phone call.
Yeah,
okay,
sorry.
I'm going to
It's gonna
talk.
be
Listen,
the-
I'm going to talk about what he just said.
But it's going to be Brad's Nostradamus
So-
podcast.
So, guy that I know, his daughter is pretty high up in the Navy, and I coached her in softball. And he drives down to BP every day, and he calls me on the way 8 years ago. Or he's been calling all along.
Mm-hmm.
And now he retired, so now he's like everybody else, and he sleep till like 8:30, like my dad. My dad never calls because, Dad, why don't you call? Well, I kind of sleep in. I watch movies on Netflix till 1 in the morning, and then I wake up at 10. But anyways, he calls in one day, and he just starts out the conversation, and he says, Jed, there's going to be a revolution.
Oh, your Revolution Dave.
Revolution Dave. I made fun of him for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Revolution Dave. Oh, if you're Revolution Dave, well, we're going to have so much unrest in America that there's going to be some sort of revolution. Now, his point was, I don't know what it is, Jed. I don't know how it's going to go down. But I'm telling you, the way things are in America right now, we're going to have a revolution in maybe 2 years and maybe 10 years. But it's coming. And I'm like, oh, you could make that prediction. And he also said basically there was so much unrest brewing that it was going to come out. And this was 10 years ago. And I made so much fun of him, and I had to apologize to him personally. He became the starter at a golf course, and I was like, man, I'm just going to do it right here in front of my other 3 dudes I'm playing with. I got to apologize to you for using you as fodder and making fun of you. Now, I have done the same thing with Brad, and I was making fun of him about his talk about the breakdown in society. And I got to apologize publicly that maybe I should not have used him as fodder to make fun of him and his thoughts, and that we have gone way further than I would have ever thought 4 years ago when he was saying this. Does that make sense?
So,
what's wrong with your voice?
I wasn't using it for a moment, right? I was like, my daughter told me yesterday. She said, "Mom, you just run your mouth nonstop." And I said to Mike, "Is that true?" And he said, "Yes." So my mouth wasn't running, so it needed a moment to catch up. I think that you can say anything, and it can happen eventually. So people love to predict. They love to say what's going to happen, and it might take 20 years, or it might take 10 years, or it might take 4 years, and it might happen, but it might not happen. And so it's just like a fortune teller can tell you, read your palm or read the tarot cards, because this is Fat Tuesday, so we'll use tarot cards, and they can tell you your future. Oh, you're going to die. Well, hey, you might die, but you might die 30 years from now. So I'm just not feeling it.
Well, in those...
Because you talk about a revolution. What is the revolution? Define the revolution.
Like, are we going to overthrow our government or something?
Yeah, define the revolution to me. I don't see the revolution. I'm not in a revolution.
He used the word revolution, but I think his main thing was that it's going to get really divided and really acrimonious, and there's going to be a lot more hatred than there is now. And that was his point.
Oh, but that is reality. I mean, how many wars have we fought in? So, yeah, there are times there's hatred, and there's times there people go to war, and things happen. Was he predicting Donald Trump? If he predicted 10 years ago that Donald Trump would one day be the president of the United States and this world would be in chaos, then, yeah, that's a prediction. But if you just say something so out there as is a revolution, well, tell me what the revolution is. Define it to me.
The point there being that he predicted the chaos and the acrimony, and I laughed at him. And that's what I apologize for. And the same thing with Brad, talking about the breakdown in the financial system. And if you really follow it, he's got some real points of things.
I thought you said a breakdown in society. Well, you're talking about Brad, not
Brad.
Brent.
Brad.
Okay.
So I think that my point is that I'm not the sky is falling kind of guy, but I like to say that we got our finger on the pulse of what's going on, at least close to it. And I'm telling you, man, something's there that I don't understand, and it's a deeper division and hatred than I want to admit.
So how many years ago was the book of Revelations written?
I don't know, like 4,000 or something.
So when does it happen?
But once it happens,
then we'll say it was the book of Revelations.
Well,
okay.
Then we won't know because
right.
we'll be gone, right?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. People can just say anything. Eventually, it might happen,
All right. Hey, we have a bunch
two
of
callers, and you got this. Did you want me to read this?
I want you to read that paragraph, would you please?
Okay. The Washington Post reported in December that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, is planning to renovate existing warehouses across the country, including one in Maryville, to process the house more than 80,000 immigrants detainees prior to deportation. In January, Maryville Town Council unanimously approved a resolution opposing ICE operations that will create unanticipated burdens on the town's infrastructure, resources, and services inside an industrial facility not suited for residential use.
All right. So what happened, Verley?
So right now the government has said they are going to spend $39 billion acquiring, because they're not going to be building these warehouses. These warehouses are everywhere right now. Hobart is like warehouse city. Maryville's warehouse town. So these warehouses already exist. They're going to use them to house immigrants as processing centers rather than taking them places where they might have a bed available. They're just going to do thousands of them in these locations. To me, that is a concentration camp. It goes back to times, eras when concentration camps existed. Now, don't call in and say, oh, you're trying to equate this to the Holocaust. I didn't say extermination camps. I said concentration camps, which did exist. Do we want to see that happening again?
I was going to say, we had those in the U.S. It was the Japanese internment camps.
The Japanese were put in internment camps. Yes, those were concentration camps as well. So for Maryville is right to come out with that, but say it not just for the things it's going to do to your city. Say it because it's not right. They tried to build a processing center in Gary at one point near the airport, and people came out and protested against it. These would be concentration camps. Is this what we want in a society? Is that the revolution? That people who are standing up in the streets fighting against ICE in Minnesota, or No King's Day, or students walking out of high schools fighting against this immigration and what ICE is doing, is that the revolution? Because we can look at a lot of things and say, yes, a revolution is coming, but define the revolution. That's what I need. I need to see what you're calling a revolution, to say that, hey, you did predict something that happened.
What do you think of the Maryville Town Council's unanimous resolution?
I support that 100%. I'm proud of them for doing it, but I would have liked to have seen in that resolution that the human rights issue, it's not the right thing to do in our town. We don't support it because of that. Not just the stress on our infrastructure and our roads and all of the conditions that will exist because these warehouses were not made for that, but the fact that the human rights issue.
What do you think?
It's kind of hard because I feel with the current situation of how ICE is perceived, it's like 50-50 whether they do it or not. Because it's either, yes, they're going to go through with it, or they're not. I don't think that I look at it as 50-50. I would hope that they wouldn't do anything as far as have it similar, because, of course, history does not repeat itself. It's just very similar in that aspect. That it's not similar to any type of concentration camps. If they are to build facilities like this, they treat people humanely. They don't treat them poorly, but again, people say that's looking at it with rose-colored tinted glasses on. So, but then
at
also
least it's not coming to Maryville, and
Yeah.
Unless the federal government says "too bad, so sad" to a town council resolution. So, hey, she's Verly Suggs. She's Adriana Alvarez. We have actually 2 segments to the Munster Show coming up right away. We have 2 segments because they, like me, have double booked. And I told them that, so
That's
you're
fine.
going to do, I will go out there and put in Blue Frame a second show so that we have 2
I can
separate
do that real
ones.
quick. That's
okay,
fine.
all right, you could do it. So we'll do the first one. It's going to be Munster Schools. We actually have the superintendent here.
Oh, so they'll be talking about the walkout.
So they're going to be talking about I don't know what they're going to be talking about, but certainly they're going to be talking about infrastructure things going on in Munster and so forth. But Dave Nellums is here. He did what I always do, which is double book. So I told him he could do a
I thought you double booked this morning, and I was going to ask you, and I was like,
no,
he'll be fine.
All right, we got to get out right now. Adriana,
Okay.
good job.
Yep,
Thanks a
thank
lot.
you,
Thanks, Jim. Happy Fat Tuesday, and definitely condolences to the family of Jesse Jackson.
Yep.
Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Go to Doc's. I'll be out there probably 2 to 3 this afternoon until Thursday when I see you next. Thanks a lot for listening to the voice of the region.
And we will be Tuesday.
Before
Yep,
Notre Dame
that's
Federal
what they
Credit
said.
The girls.
We were being charged various maintenance fees and various check writing fees for all of our accounts. And with Notre Dame, we don't have that. We have that true community partnership. We get interest based on all of our parish and school accounts, and the interest rate is really second to none.